Hello everybody, welcome to a new tutorial from Sound for More. It's Leo speaking. Today we are going to continue the journey in learning SunVox, and I'm going to focus more on the pattern editor, but also giving you some fundamental concepts as well. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, we go to the menu, we select a new project, and we click on empty. So we have an empty project. Now, when you turn on SunVox the first time, you might not see all these columns per track. What you might see is something like more like this, okay, where there are less columns. As you can see at the top, you have two N, and the first N is for actually the note, the second is for the octave, then you have two values for the velocity, and then you have two values for the modules. Indeed, the way that SunVox works is you have timeline as one of the fundamental concepts with, of course, pattern, which you put on the timelines. Then you have modules, which you load here. And I've showed you how to load a module before. So you double click here, and you choose again, double click on analog generator, and you load a module, right? And then you click here on the connection to connect that module, which is module 01 to the output. And now you can test the sound. Straightforward, right? So, having said that, it's actually useful to show all the columns on the pattern editor. So, go to the menu here and click Show Add Columns. And what you will see, it will expand with two digits here, which are the controllers, then two for the effects, and then you have a parameters, parameter XX and YY, which I'll show you how to use them in a second. Now, if you click on the module here, on the left-hand side, you have a list of properties for that module. Well, it shows you actually the controllers. Controller number 01 is the volume, controller number 02 is the waveform, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's put that to a good use. As you know, if you click and hold here on the pattern editor, you can actually create a selection. You can also do a single click and it will move position. And based on the position where you actually selected, it will highlight up here where you are. So for example, on the notes, on the velocity, on the module, as you can see, on the ear controller, then on the effect X and on the parameter X, X, Y, Y. In order to edit the pattern, you need to unlock it, and I showed you this in the first tutorial. But I click on the unlock button here, okay, and now you see a cursor there, which is really handy because it shows you precisely where you are. And what you will also see is, as you move, for example, from the first one, which is a note, to the second one, which is an octave, you can see the keyboard changes to a selection of octave. In this case, 0 to 9. But if, for example, I go to the velocity here, it is 0 to F. So it is hexadecimal. After 9, it starts with A, which is 10, B is 11, etc., etc. The other thing to show you is you have this symbol here, which with arrows up and down, left and right. So if you click on it, you open these additional arrows, and then you click on it again to minimize it. I like to leave it open. And what this does, you can move to the left. You see the cursors move to the left, or to the right, or you can go down, or you can go up, or you can go down to the next line 16. In this case, it does a big jump, and then up from 16, it moves to line 0. And that is a nice way to actually move very quickly between the different lines in that particular pattern. Now, before I continue, I want to change the instrument. So double click on that analog generator and click delete and then say yes. Double click again. Now select the analog generator, but instead of double clicking on it, click load, and then you have the selection of different instrument. In this case, I'm going to load that super saw. I'll make the connection like so, and now I test it. Really nice. Okay, perfect. Now let's unlock it so we can go in edit mode. We go to the first position here for the notes, and we're going to type C4 16 times from 0 to 15. Now we are on line 16. If I click play, it will continue to play after line 15. So in order to avoid that, unlock it again, because every time you click play, it will lock itself. Position on line 16th and insert an off, so it will stop playing that instrument from that point on. Click play again. You can see it stops. Now, another way to play the pattern is this one where you see a P here. Click and on that controller and it will play the pattern by following line by line. Like so, which is really handy. Now, let's unlock it and let's move up to right to the top. Now, we want to show you how we can change the velocity. So we move right to the right here where it says VV for velocity. And now we're going to input some value like so. Nice and simple. We go from 0 to F, which is 15. Okay. And now let's click play. So what's happening is that we have generated different values for the velocity. So the volume is going from 0 to level 15. Okay, so that's a nice way to actually create a variation on the velocity for every line of the particular pattern. Now let's edit that again and let's remove those values for the velocity. Let's go up to the top. And now let me show you something else. The next one is the number of module, or the module number. In this case is 1. And if you go down here, you have only one module, where you have also the output here, which is 0, 0. But the instrument that you're using is module 0, 1, which is what you have here by default. Okay. If you recall, I mentioned earlier on that when you select that module, on the left-hand side, you actually have the list of properties where indeed it shows you actually the list of controllers. And the first controller is the volume and it has a number of 0, 1. So if I want to use the controllers, I can say, to change the volume, of course, I can say, okay, this note, this module 1, and then I can go to the controller here and I'm going to type 1 for all of those steps again, like so, very quickly. Then I'm going to go up again, right? And then I'm going to change here the parameter for that controller. And I'm going to insert again, let's go up because I missed the number 4, like so. And we're going to insert all this value up to 15. And then I'm going to play. Before I play, I want to move up because I want to show you what happens here on the volume. Let's click play. You can hear a loud volume and also a high number here. And that is because it used the 4-digit XX and Y. So I suggest that you edit these again right to the top. Delete those values because you don't want to leave those value up on the 4th digit or the first XX. 4th digits, if you combine XX, Y, you have 4 digits. Let's go to the second one of X and let's re-input those value like so. And in this case, I will show you that the volume is lower and the number is lower as well. So pay attention here where it says module. Okay, perfect. Now let me show you how to use effects. So let's unlock it again. Let's move right up to the top, of course. And then let's go to effect here. And in the menu, it gives you a list of all the effect. I already know one, which is number 4, which is for vibrato. So let's insert that number 4 for all the different lines and go up to the top. Now, the vibrato uses the first XX as frequency, then YY for amplitude. So we already entered the frequency. Let's go and enter amplitude, at least some value that we can hear a difference. Okay, almost done. We are there to 15 and let's click play now. Actually, I've done it on the first digit here, so you don't hear much of a variation. So let's delete them all. Well, it doesn't really matter, but I like to delete them all like that. Let's go up and let's insert values now for on the first digit. So we'll have a higher number, like so. almost done. And then we do the same again on the first digit of YY for the amplitude. Again, you have a higher number for amplitude, so you will hear a more dramatic change. Let's click play. And as I mentioned, you hear that more dramatic change in terms of vibrato. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the pattern editor. We went through how to change notes, octave, velocity, the module, the controllers for each module, and then how to add the effects, of course, in using the parameter X, Y, Y. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.